Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.
Good evening, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Gwen Thompkins, host of the radio program Music Inside Out, airing twice weekly on WWNO radio. Hello, welcome dear, good to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, Poppy Tooker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, also airing twice weekly on WWNO radio.
Hi,
Hello,
Peg.
Miss Poppy. And John Kemp, art columnist for Louisiana Life magazine. Later on, we will have piano and opera performances in conjunction with two events this weekend, one of them right here at WYES. And Alice Mason, of course, returns next week. But first up, Miss Poppy.
You know what's around the corner? That would be Turkey Day. And unless Grandma has started setting in the groceries, it's time to make reservations or make plans. And there are two new spots to have Thanksgiving dinner this year that I just think sound fabulous. Couvent, now that's in the Eliza Jane Hotel and Magazine. Love Brad McDonald's French food there.
Ooh,
it's such a beautiful place. He's serving wild mushroom velouté and hazelnut flan, turkey leg and foie gras press with sour cherry marmalade, truffled celery pan perdu, be still my heart, pear frangipani tart with brown butter, caramel ice cream, lots more. It's only $55 for adults,
boy.
$20 for children. I think that's the best Thanksgiving menu I've ever heard of. Now, also fabulous, if you always wanted a wacky aunt who lived on St. Charles Avenue, just head right over to Jack Rose at the Pontchartrain. They're serving their first Thanksgiving dinner from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. They're going to be having some Jack Rose favorites and some Thanksgiving classic spins. Royal red shrimp muddy waters with squid ink campanelli, butternut squash bisque with coconut and pecan granola, stuffed turkey, of course, and all the stuffing and fixings and cranberry and mile-high pie. What more can I say? And the prices there range from $62 to $72, depending on what you order. Now, if you don't want to go out, you want to stay in, Allison Vega Knoll at Station 6 is doing some cooking, sharing family favorites ready to go. Orders have to be placed by Sunday, November 18th. Pretty much any place you're ordering from for takeout this Sunday. Allison's making her ma mère's crab meat casserole, spinach madeleine, that classic bourbon sweet potatoes, oyster dressing, curry butternut squash soup, cranberry kumquat relish, and buttermilk drop bread pudding with a butterscotch sauce. Wow. How delicious. Also, lots of yummy things at Simone's Market on Oak Street that you can order for takeout, like sage sausage and cornbread dressing, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, and how about some Mississippi mud pie? Get ready for Thanksgiving. And then, right after Thanksgiving, get ready Friday, November 30th for the culinary kickoff to Randy Fertel's event, Improvisation New Orleans Gift to the World. It's a whole tricentennial conference, but Friday night at the New Orleans Jazz Museum for just $20, you will be able to hear, meet, see Alice Waters, Davia Nelson and Nikki Silva, the Kitchen Sisters, Richard McCarthy. I understand Miss Tompkins will also be in the number that weekend. Richard's coming home from New York City, so that's something to make plans for immediately following Thanksgiving.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
And the spinach madeleine and Allison Vega, if you've never had that, ooh, I just had that recently.
Madeline Wright. She's still alive, living in St. Francisville, the inventor.
Spinach madeleine?
Yes.
Incredible. Wonderful.
Google Louisiana Eats, type in her name, and you can hear her interview.
Okay, great. And Miss Gwen, let's go drumming.
Oh, there's so much going on. Yeah, for indoor entertainment, it's a good idea to head over to the U.S. Mint for their Drumsville exhibit, which is just it's the latest in a long line of wonderful exhibits that have been happening at the U.S. Mint this past year. You know, they've done jazz photography, they've done the centenary of Professor Longhair, and now this, which is a wonderful exhibit that really delves into the notion that New Orleans has provided the heartbeat of American popular music for so long, you know, for, well, certainly since the beginning of jazz and, of course, the beginning of rock and roll.
And Baby Dodds. And
oh,
so,
my
the list is
goodness.
so
Yeah,
long.
they've got Baby Dodds' drum kit as well. But the Drumsville, exclamation point, is, of course, the name of Earl Palmer's album, the great Earl Palmer, who was a wonderful session musician, probably the most sought-after session musician who ever come out of New Orleans. I mean, he played with everybody from, you know, from the Beach Boys to Little Richard to Frank Sinatra, Sarah Vaughan, Elvis Costello. I mean, he's done it all, Bonnie Raitt. Anyway, it's a wonderful afternoon spent, actually, at the U.S. Mint. If you would like outdoor entertainment, it's a wonderful idea to head over to the Treme Creole Gumbo Fest at Louis Armstrong Park. In fact, I thought Poppy was going to mention it because I believe that she might be making an appearance over there talking about gumbo. But it's a wonderful event, and it's going to be, music-wise, it's going to be dedicated to the memory of Travis Trumpet Black Hill, who was a wonderful trumpet player, died a few years ago, far too young, of medical complications. And what's wonderful about the music is that all of the musicians who are playing have some kind of personal relationship with Trumpet Black. So it's going to be James Andrews, for instance, Corey Henry and the Treme Funktet, Shamar Allen will be there. That's all on Saturday. On Sunday, the Free Agents Brass Band, the Panettes, the Hot 8 Brass Band, and of course the Rebirth Brass Band. And I don't know if you all are familiar with the troubles that the Rebirth has gone through recently. Phil Frazier, you know, one of the leaders of the Rebirth Brass Band, has had a terrible health setback. The New Orleans Musicians Clinic has established a fund for him, and I am hoping that you all will give that fund a call or go to their website and make a donation. There is no band that has as much exuberance and it is as thrilling to listen to and watch as the Rebirth. They're Grammy winning, of course. They say they owe it all to the Dirty Dozen, which they do, and all. But Phil Frazier is just a treasure. He's a national treasure, you know. Then on Thanksgiving, and you know, after eating that big meal, you might want to go out and do something. And I think I'm going to go to the last Waltz concert, which is going to be over at the Downtown Joy Theater. Now, this is it's a wonderful event. It's actually a fundraiser for the New Orleans Musicians Clinic, which is a fantastic entity. They should win every prize, you know, including the MacArthur Genius Award, the people who run it. But this is a recreation or a reimagining of the 1976 Thanksgiving night concert of the band. It was a send-off for my favorite band, which is the band, and it essentially recreates the playlist, you know, and so it features all kinds of local artists, you know, who are just, you know, fantastic, and some of them include Alex McMurray, Reggie Scanlon, you know, from the Radiators, Mark Mullins from Bonorama, who dang near steals the show every year. He does Van Morrison. Erica Falls and the New Orleans Suspects. So many great artists, and it's really going to be worth it.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much. Lots of great things to do. And speaking of music, earlier today, sopranos Irini, Kyriakidou, and Christina Vial from the group Opus Opera visited our studios to tell us about their Sunday evening performance right here at WYES. And they also performed for us, accompanied by Laura Ward. These are two very busy ladies because Saturday night they'll be at the Orpheum with the LPO and the English-Speaking Union 100th anniversary. We'll talk more about that a little later. But now we're talking about Sunday night Opus Opera here at WYES. Opus Opera is a relatively new nonprofit to try to encourage, of course, the accessibility of opera. Right, Irini?
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better, Peggy. And thank you so much for having us here today. And for having us here on Sunday.
And the theme, we have a theme.
The theme is Fleur de Femme. It means flowers of women. We're concentrating on this time on pairing vocal works with the beautiful paintings of our wonderful friend Suzanne Duplantis, who is coming to us from Philadelphia, with Laura Ward, a wonderful pianist. I'm so excited to have them here, and that's exactly what we did. We chose a beautiful series of wonderful songs that could actually complement and be paired with her paintings.
Tell us about some of the songs we'll hear on Sunday.
So what's amazing is that we are going to have songs in 7 different languages. We're going to have Russian, Greek, which Irini will be singing, Dame de tus Rosas in Spanish, English, French, and Italian. Beautiful, beautiful music that we think pairs quite wonderfully with the art. And yeah, it's going to be lovely.
It'll be beautiful visually and, of course,
Yes.
from the ear.
Yeah.
Now, you're originally from Luling.
I
know
am
you performed
originally
all
from
over the
Luling.
world, but you're from Luling.
Yes.
And you are relatively new to New Orleans because you
Yes.
happen to be married to
Brian Eno.
the wonderful
Yes.
New Orleans-born opera singer, of course, 2 opera stars. Everybody performs all over the world, but they're going to be performing Saturday night at the Orpheum and Sunday night right here at WYES. Now, what are you performing for us right now?
Right now we'll be performing Sull'aria from Le Nozze di Figaro.
Wonderful. Take it away.
Canzonetta sull'aria. Sull'aria che sovete veretto. Se Filippo stasera spirerò. Questa sera spirerò sotto i piedi del boschetto. Sotto i piedi del boschetto. Sotto i piedi del boschetto. E già del resto capirò. Certo, certo il capirò. Canzonetta
Wow. Remember, you can catch Opus Opera's Fleur de Femme this Sunday night right here at WYES.
Pretty good.
Visit opusopera.org to purchase your tickets. It's only $25 and includes refreshments and an entire evening of beautiful, beautiful music. Now, John.
My turn. Okay. So that was a nice follow-up. Okay. Well, you know, usually when I'm talking about the art scene here, I usually review 1 show, maybe 2 shows. But I thought I'd do something a little different tonight. I thought I would look at the work of 3 Louisiana artists and how they use different visual vocabularies and styles to talk about their impressions of the Louisiana landscape and culture. The first one is Jacqueline Bishop. Second one is Frances Pavey. both of them at the Arthur Roger Gallery. And then the third one will be Mary Monk, a painter from St. Tammany Parish. The first one we'll talk about, of course, been around for a while, you know, Jacqueline Bishop and her work.
She looks like a little kid, but she's not.
20 some odd years, looks exactly the same
she's
now.
amazing, very pretty lady.
But she does these wonderful allegorical paintings that sort of represent, it talks about the eco-political injustices in the world and how the human intrusion into the landscape is destroying the landscape. She's been working mostly in Central and South America, but now she's working into Louisiana, and how the agriculture and industry and just the plain human intrusion is destroying the landscape. And that's the human threads at Arthur Roger. The second one is Francis Poppy. He too is talking about Louisiana culture and, in a sense, the landscape, but coming from a different approach. He's using symbolism from Louisiana, music, life, love, passion, mysticism, to talk about his expression of what the Southern and Louisiana culture is all about. And he's been doing this for years. In the past, he did a lot of work dealing with the Zydeco music in Southwest. Well, he lives in Lafayette. But he uses all this sort of imagery to talk about Louisiana in a different way. So it's kind of your imagination has to go into the painting to understand what's really going on. And the third one is more in the 19th century style. You have Mary Monk, an artist living over in St. Tammany Parish, who is just the opposite. She's doing these beautiful pastel landscape, plein air, which means she's out in the landscape painting it. But she's looking at the beauty of the Louisiana landscape, almost devoid of human intrusion. It's as it exists now in its natural beautiful form. And she has a show now. In fact, tomorrow she's giving a walkthrough, Saturday, she's giving a walkthrough from 1 to 2 at Lemieux Gallery. And it's interesting to hear her talk about how she's out there in the elements, the bugs, the wind, the rain, and the sun, creating these beautiful, and she's come a long way. I mean, some of these paintings remind me of some of the work done in the late 19th century. So she's carrying on this long tradition while others are creating their own styles and imagery of how to express what they feel about Louisiana landscape and culture. So, wonderful.
And John, I just want to congratulate you because you, and you're so prolific, but you have a brand new book celebrating the work of Azaklas Ozols. And for anyone who is not familiar with the name, but they should be, the Academy of Fine Arts on Magazine Street. But how many years in the making?
Well, it started about 4 or 5 years ago, and his work has been a lifetime in the making to get to that point. But it started about 4 or 5 years ago over a cup of coffee when we talked about doing the first and only book about his life and work. He's a marvelous painter, landscape painter, lush, rich scenes of Louisiana landscape, but his still lifes are just absolutely magnificent. And he founded the Academy 40 years ago this year, and celebrating the 40th anniversary. And he just says, his legacy, he has twofold legacy, not only his beautiful work that he's leaving us, but as a teacher, because he's teaching in the 19th century academy style where you learn from the very basics of draftsmanship, drawing, how to build a painting, how to prepare a canvas, how to structure a painting, and the philosophy of a painting and a philosophy of the work and how to get it to canvas in a certain way. So it's a tremendous legacy. He's leaving us a lot of good artists as well as his own art.
Absolutely, and a special nod. We sure do miss Mrs. Dorothy Coleman.
Yes,
who was
right.
Very much
She
a part
was.
of
Yes, in fact, he owes a great deal to her because he started the Academy first in a little studio over a restaurant on Magazine Street, but she made this wonderful building available to him. And,
well, congrats.
Well, thank you very much.
And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Ritzy Messina gave us the names of 2 NFL cities located upriver from New Orleans, one on the Ohio River and the other on the Mississippi River. The answer is Cincinnati and Minneapolis, respectively. Now, tonight's question. This upstate town, which is older than New Orleans, is known for its Christmas decorations. Name the town and the body of water it rests on. Email your answer to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a year subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, a t-shirt with the message Talkin' Turkey from our friends at wearablevegetables.com, and a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. By the way, the Audubon Nature Center is having its fall festival tomorrow with many activities, such as a pie baking contest too. Go to WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, including country music superstar Martina McBride performing at the Beau Rivage Resort in Biloxi next Friday. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to see our program. Dr. Quinn Peeper and Michael Harrell, aka Rock and Bach, visited us earlier today to talk about their performance tomorrow evening at the Orpheum and to also play for us. A very special evening, Saturday night at the Orpheum. The English-speaking union organization is now a century old. Explain what the ESU is, Quinn.
Well, English Speaking Union is an organization founded over 100 years ago, and it was founded on the cusp of World War I, 1918. The idea being we could maybe unite people across the globe speaking a common language, so we might make treaties instead of war.
And there are chapters all over the country, but you're also the national president, too.
I'm the national U.S. president. We have about 60 chapters in the United States, but we have people coming from Paris, from London at the national headquarters, international headquarters. So it'll be a big show.
What a way to celebrate. And what will we hear tomorrow night at the Orpheum as this great celebration?
We are making our big debut with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. This is my first time, a real dream of mine to get to play with them, and it's happening on Saturday night. We'll start the orchestra. We have a conductor, a guest conductor from New York who's going to be in town. He'll play a quick piece, and then we have two singers with Opus Opera, Irini and Christina, and they'll sing arias from Mozart, and then I get to play my Bach piece. And then after intermission, Quinn will play his Rachmaninoff piano concerto. And also we have a scholarship winner who went to New York with the ESU and he's going to recite a sonnet and a part of a play.
Now, what are you playing for us tonight?
So, today, you mean for the...
Tonight, on our performance.
Oh, tonight we're going to play a Mozart piano duet. Mozart wrote a piano duet for four hands, one piano, and we're going to play the first movement of this piece that we've played a long time. It's in our hands, thank goodness.
Michael Harrell, Dr. Quinn Peeper, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
Let's listen. by the way, the very attractive young lady who is helping them out is also named Quinn Peeper, and she's, of course, a relative. Rock and Bach and much more, performing with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. That's tomorrow night at the Orpheum Theatre. Visit lpomusic.com to purchase tickets. And now, Poppy.
Well, tomorrow, my favorite book signing, 9 a.m. to noon at the Crescent City Farmers Market downtown. Tuesday, the one before Thanksgiving, Crescent City Farmers Market uptown. And Gwen, you were right. Sunday afternoon, I'm making gumbo on stage at the Gumbo Festival.
Good. Thanksgiving night. You know, I mean, America was a great experiment. Maybe not for the Native Americans, but for the Americans. And so there's going to be a wonderful night of experimental music, actually. It's called the Thanksgiving Night Extravaganza at Sidebar NOLA, a wonderful new bar that's on South White Street. So it's going to feature percussionist Mike Dillon and cellist Helen Gillet.
All right.
These people are top-notch musicians.
Absolutely. John.
And I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, to go to the New Orleans Museum of Art to see the Orléans collection.
Oh, yes.
The museum has done a wonderful job bringing 40 works of the total 700 works from the Philippe Duc d'Orléans, for whom the city was named. Excellent show.
And she just showed Rembrandt.
Yeah,
And that's
Rembrandt,
just a
Poussin,
few.
Rubens, Veronese.
Incredible, yes.
That's right.
And my picks, a 22-foot pink crystal tower made by world-renowned sculptor Dale Chihuly is on the front of the New Orleans Botanical Garden on Victory Avenue, right by the Thomas Center. The sculpture will stay there until November 2020. The Hellis Foundation is making this new installation possible. For a delightful field trip, check out the Walter Anderson Museum of Art, located in historic downtown Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Look at that beautiful room. The museum is open Mondays through Saturday. Visit the museum's website to learn more. The museum also includes the history and artifacts of brother Peter Anderson, known, of course, for the famed Shearwater pottery. My husband Errol and I, of course, went to the Anderson Festival a few weeks ago. It was amazing how many artists' booths there were lining the main street.
Entire town.
Incredible. The Martin Lawrence Gallery is featuring the artwork of Salvador Dali, Chagall, and Miro in its current exhibit, and it runs through November 30th. And the 9th annual St. Catherine's Hat Day Parade is this Sunday morning, starting at 10:30. Go to the corner of St. Charles Avenue and Pleasant Street. So right there, and just get there a few minutes earlier, and then you can participate in the parade. Thank you all so very much, and thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving, too. Bye-bye.